Hello, and welcome to another installment of TAMU HPRC's video tutorial series. My name is Shayna, and today I'll be showing you how to transfer files to, from, and between the TAMU HPRC supercomputing clusters. If you aren't already familiar with how to access the clusters, I suggest going back to the cluster access using SSH video for a refresher. I'm going to start by introducing you to some file transfer tools that we've tested with our systems. There's at least one tool compatible with each of the major operating systems, like Windows, macOS, and Linux. Feel free to skip to the timestamp of a particular tool. First up is WinSCP. Available on Windows platforms only, it's a classic file transfer system with a simple user interface. When we first open up the application, we're greeted with a server connection dialog. We're going to fill out the information for connecting to the Terra cluster. Leave the file protocol section with its default value of SFTP, or SSH File Transfer Protocol, and enter the hostname as terra.tamu.edu. The port number can stay as 22. Next, fill out your username and password. These will be identical to your university credentials. Now you can either save the configuration or connect immediately. Please note that connecting immediately will not save your connection information when you start a new session of WinSCP. When you start connecting to the session, you will be prompted to accept the TAMU HPRC Terms of Service, then to specify how you want to complete the dual-factor authentication requirement. Once authenticated, you can simply drag and drop the files and folders between each machine to transfer them. Next is MobaXterm. We at TAMU HPRC recommend this tool in general because it can be used as an SSH client to log into remote systems, on top of some file transfer functionality. Many of our technicians are also familiar with it. Opening up the application for the first time, we encounter a terminal interface. What we're interested in, however, is the session plugin. Select SFTP as the session type. We'll go ahead and set the remote host to terra.tamu.edu and the username to our NetID. In the advanced SFTP settings, enable the two-steps authentication option. Now press OK and enter the number that corresponds to one of these authentication options. Once authorized, you'll be able to see the contents of your directory on the Terra cluster on the right and your local machine on the left. To transfer files, you can simply drag and drop the files and folders between each machine. Third is FileZilla. Available on all major operating systems, its interface is similar to WinSCP. Setup for this tool is a few more steps compared to the others, but in general pretty straightforward. Once FileZilla is open, click the Site Manager plugin in the top left of the application. In the bottom left of the window that pops up, click New Site to create a new connection profile. We're going to name this one Terra. Change the protocol to SFTP SSH File Transfer Protocol. Set the host as terra.tamu.edu and the port as 22. The login type must be set to interactive so the connection accounts for two-factor authentication. Set the user field as your NetID and press connect. After some time, you will see your directory contents of the remote server in the window. Simply drag and drop your files to transfer them. The only apparent drawback is the requirement for authentication for each transfer conducted, so FileZilla may not be the most efficient method of transferring multiple small files, but it can be useful for single large file transfers because it can resume an interrupted transfer. Now on to Cyberduck. Available on both Windows and macOS, it's a simple tool with a friendly interface for transferring files. Open the application, and in the top left we'll see an option to open connection. Click this and you'll be greeted with a connection details window. Set the top drop-down menu to SFTP SSH File Transfer Protocol. Indicate the server as terra.tamu.edu and enter your credentials into the username and password fields. Complete the authentication prompts, which lines up with the options you see if logging into the clusters normally. Now authenticated, you can drag and drop files or use the context menu, right-click, to see more options. Using the Open Connection option will not save the session. However, if you create the connection via the New Bookmark option, you can fill out the same information as before and give the connection a nickname. Last but not least, we have a file transfer interface available through the Open On Demand portal, or OOD. It can be accessed through the TAMU HPRC portal at portal.hprc.tamu.edu. We have also linked the website in the description below. Another video in our playlist demonstrates the functionality. See the card above. Those are just a few options for transferring files. Some other notable methods would be SCP, or Secure Copy Protocol, and rsync. Instructions for using either can be found on our wiki, linked in the description below. We will also release a subsequent video on our channel detailing their use. Thank you for tuning into this installment. That's pretty much a rundown on how to transfer files to and from a remote server. Please remember to like, favorite, and share this video, and subscribe to our channel for more content and tutorials. We'll see you in the next one.